Today's date is January 15th, otherwise known as 115 Day. 115 being a special number in the Zombies game mode, I thought, what better way to celebrate than to go back and give you my history with the Zombies mode step by step, from when I began to where we are now, which actually takes us back all the way to 2012 with Black Ops 2's Die Rise. That's right, my Zombies journey really began with Die Rise, which I gotta say is one of the most interesting maps, a beautiful skybox, one of the most beautiful skyboxes we've ever gotten. But yes, this is kind of where it all began for me. And if you don't know, this is Black Ops 2's first DLC map. And this is also our introduction of armored zombies. You can see this guy had some armor. Of course, there's our end of round double points here. Now, if you don't know Die Rise, there are a couple different ways we can go out the spawn room. We can go out this way, which costs points, and you can progress through the map that way, which is what a lot of people did. Oop, there's a part piece right there. Oh yes, the trample steam. We might pick that up. Actually, no, we won't. But anyway, our second way through the spawn room is going to be through this elevator here, because this is Die Rise's biggest kind of gimmick here is the elevators and the elevation. So this elevator crashes us into the bottom here. We have a little key that we can pick up that will drop our trample steam part there. There's another key there. There's lots of keys around here, but the verticality of this map is really darn cool. And do I have anything in the fridge? I do. I've got a Galil in the fridge. Let's go. We're going to go ahead and keep that because I did want to kind of show you guys. Let's see how many points I've got. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, look at all the points. All right, so I have a bunch of points in here. That's fine. I didn't know I'd have that many, but in here is the power switch, as well as our Easter egg, or musical Easter egg here. We've got our traditional power switch, just like so. Let's see, we've got double tap there, and we've got jug right off the bat. That's wonderful. Now, along with these elevators, along with having all the perks and the pack-a-punch and everything, they also function like, well, elevators, bringing you to all sorts of different locations. Oh, there goes double tap. We have a workbench for the sliquifier. There is a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of this map that I really don't know all too well. And that's mainly because, well, like I said, this was like where my Zombies journey really began. I had known about zombies from World at War. I had World at War, except I had World at War for the Wii. And in the Wii version, there actually wasn't any zombies, which was really sad. So I never got to play like Nocturne and Toten unless I was at a friend's house. Oh, and there's the pack-a-punch. Cool, so we can go ahead and eliminate that guy. And actually, I have a special weapon that I want to get. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here, and in order to successfully traverse this map, we need to jump across these different buildings. Oh, it's so terrifying. There's Speed Cola over there. Oh, Quick Revive's going up top. I don't think I need to go up top, actually. I think I can cut short over here. If we go ahead and run off there, very good. These pink mattresses kind of hold your fall or brace your fall. And then going up through here, I think, yeah, okay, this is a really fun part. This is the high round strategy here. You can jump on down here, but this is something that I always got. I always got the Galvanuckles. Galvanuckles are like the Bowie knife, and in the sense that it gets you extra melee damage, which was a big thing in the days past here. But this gun, the AN-94, this was my gun. This was the gun that I always went for, and it was actually one of the best guns in Black Ops 2 Zombies. And this room is what I call the Buddha room. I think what everybody calls the Buddha room. You could tell it's upside down. A lot of these buildings are in a different way, facing different directions because of various 115 Easter eggy stuff. Really interesting atmosphere. Let's see, can I make it? Oh, dude, I never make that jump. That's so good. And we're back here. Unfortunately, the worst thing about this map, in my opinion, is the traversal system. So now if we want to go back up, we're going to need to wait for these elevators, which if you're mid-round is kind of really annoying. We do have an elevator key, however, that takes a while. Plus, if we go ahead and do that, all that's going to do is it's just going to bring the elevator up to our location. Oh, but we'll get some double tap though. We'll do that. And so there's a lot of this going on in Die Rise. Lots of waiting. I think I'm going to need to get on that elevator. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and get on into here. And that zombie isn't a problem anymore. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm using the bank. I used the fridge, which holds a pack-a-punched weapon. Actually building up points and actually progressing through the map is a lot more stressful. And for example, you could pack-a-punch your weapon here and just randomly the elevator could actually go down in the middle of that pack-a-punch animation, which would be very, very frustrating. However, I think we're done. So now we're going to go back around again. Ooh, perfect. We're going to get quick revive here. And you know what? We're going to go ahead and get speed cola too while we're at it, while we have all of these points. And then hopefully we're going to go ahead and just sprint off of here again and then head on back into the elevator shaft. A lot of die rise. You can see the mystery box is upside down right there. This is an unavoidable path. What am I saying? It's a untraversable path. You can't get back up there unless you have one of the map's buildables, which is a trample steam. And that trample steam is like a slingshot that will sling you across the way, and there's a bunch of really fun tactics and cool little jump spots you can use with it. However, if you couldn't tell, I don't want to mess with any of that. I kind of just want to play this map normally, and all I would do is I would get this set up. I'd get like an SMG and the AN94. Potentially I would get the, ooh, that's a weird little reticle there, but I think I would get the I'd get the 74U from right there, and I would just train in this area. And this is one of those like path of no returns here, because you can't jump up there. Actually, you're stuck once you get down here, which is kind of the main gimmick of Die Rise. It's basically just a one-way street everywhere you go. And I'm not nostalgic for much of these early zombies games, except for the sound of these old zombies games from the announcer, Richthofen's announcer, and especially this pack-a-punched gun sound. Oh my goodness, it sounds so clean. It's so clean, it's so good. I wish they brought it back. Now, of course, the interesting part of these early zombies games is kind of the difficulty. Oh, of course. For example, we do not have a field upgrade right now. We don't have really any useful piece of equipment. These grenades are going to be absolutely worthless here in about like one round. There's no kill streaks. Our weapons are going to get very weak into the 20s. Overall, there are a lot less get out of jail free cards than there are currently in zombies. However, it is worth mentioning there is a lot of, well, lack of difficulty as well, especially when it comes to the zombies themselves. I know I just said that, you know, Die Rise is our first introduction to armored zombies, but they are nothing like the armored zombies of Cold War and Black Ops 6. Additionally, there are not going to be any super sprinters, and the zombies hit you for the same amount of health on round 1 as they do on round 100. So it's a really fairly balanced game if you ask me. Early game's a little bit more challenging, but once you get set up, it's really fun. Speaking of really fun, these are the dog rounds of this map here. These are called jumping jacks. They are variants of our Nova 6 crawlers. Really interesting. People hate these guys, but what's really cool about them is if you have perfect accuracy during these rounds, in addition to the max ammo that they will grant you, it will give you a bonus perk, which is one of the ways you can get more than 4 perks on this map. And there you go, we have Who's Who. Who's Who has only appeared on this map, and it's very much like Tombstone is in Cold War, where if you go down, you will have a version of yourself that could revive yourself potentially. But turns out people didn't like it because it's not really that good of a perk. What is interesting about Black Ops 2, and one of my favorite things about Black Ops 2, is the story. One of the things that got me into zombies was watching NGT Zombies figuring out all of these Easter eggs. And not just like the main quests either, but the fun little hidden details that you might not notice right away. For example, the person we're playing as, in the storyline, I don't want to spoil too much, but he has done something to where he can also hear the zombies talk. And so throughout the gameplay, you're going to be able to hear the zombies say different things, and it's kind of messed up. I think you just heard one of them there. And this is really the first kind of train that I ran here back in the early days. And like I said, there's not a lot of get out of jail free cards, so you really had to be good at training. Otherwise, you would go down constantly. Now, of course, we're on a very early round here, but this was always a lot of fun for me just to come up here and shoot these guys and speed cola, get all these guys in here. I think my highest round at the time was round like 36 or 32. 32 or somewhere in those early mid 30s. And unfortunately, this is kind of the only map in Black Ops 2. I did play some Town. I played a lot of Town with my friends, but after that, after Town and Die Rise, I kind of fell out of love with zombies, and it's all because of Mob of the Dead, which I know is insanity to say because Mob of the Dead is looked at as one of the best zombie maps of all time, and I agree with that statement now. However, like a lot of zombie players, I fell in love with zombies and I love training, I love surviving and getting that progression going. And so when Mob of the Dead came out, what do we got? Oh, Mule Kick. Okay, well, there's something. Is there stamina up on this map? I don't think there's stamina up on this map, is there? There might be. But as I was saying, I really wanted more zombies. I wanted more maps that I could get set up on and just kill zombies. That was the main draw of zombies. I just wanted to kill zombies. And so when Mob of the Dead came out and it was this really complex, deep, intricate map that had a lot of Easter eggs and side quests and a lot of things to do just to get your basic perks and Pack-a-Punch, I was not a fan. I was one of those people saying, I just want to get Pack-a-Punch, get a gun and kill zombies. Like, why doesn't this map let me do that? And so for as unfortunate as that is, Mob of the Dead kind of killed zombies for me, at least for the time being. But even though I wasn't playing Black Ops 2 Zombies anymore, that doesn't mean I still wasn't keeping up with the storyline and keeping up with NGT Zombies. I saw the ending of Buried, and ultimately I wasn't able to stay away for long because it was within Black Ops 3 where zombies had my attention again, and I made the decision to take zombies really seriously and fully dive into the mode with Shadows of Evil. Yes, oh yes, I went from Die Rise to Shadows of Evil. And my oh my, what a transition this is. Because like I said, I went from, wanting a really simple zombies game, I really wasn't into it, to really diving headfirst and going, all right, if I'm gonna do Easter eggs, let me do Easter eggs. And I can't think of a potentially worse map to start your zombies experience with than Shadows of Evil. It has so many intricacies, it has so much going for it that it's awesome for those hardcore long-term fans, but for someone just learning zombies and trying to learn zombies, it was rough. It was really, really rough. I guess rough might not be the best word for it. It wasn't terrible. It was really fun, but it was such a high bar. It's one of the most complex and deep zombie maps that are out there. Oftentimes I'll tell people zombies isn't all that difficult. Most players can open up Pack-a-Punch on their own without any external guides or anything. And that's just simply not the case on Shadows of Evil. I mean, it is. It technically is. There's a map, there's lots of hints, there's obviously the purple glowing beast mode things, and then the bright orange things that you interact with in the beast mode, so it's definitely possible, but it takes a whole lot of patience that a lot of people probably don't have. So like in this is the spawn room. Here's, you've got ritual sites, you've got this, like all the 3 different things, that one's done, you are here, and you've got all the items in the same little locations they are on the map. So it very much is possible to do this thing solo without a guide, but you will need to have a little bit of that puzzle solver in you. And that's kind of the difference between hardcore zombie players and casual zombies players. Normally, I don't like making a distinction between the two because, oh boy, that was okay. All right. Because it's so hard to make a distinction between the hardcore and the casual, but really it just comes down to dedication or, I mean, I don't know what word you would use, investment maybe? If you're willing to look up these guides, if you're willing to really get this invested in this mode, and then to look at the geometry of the map itself and follow a map within the map itself, you are probably a lot higher of a zombie player than most. And that's exactly the kind of zombie player that I wanted to be. I envied zombies players, especially back in Black Ops 2, seeing a syndicate get to round whatever on Town. I was enthralled with the mode. I wanted to be that good. It was exciting. This map looked exciting, and it still looks so good. You know what? I think I should go get another gun other than this Bloodhound though. Also, I realized my settings were low for some reason in Black Ops 3, so I just turned those textures up a little bit. Hopefully that'll make everything look a little bit nicer. I am going to grab the LCAR-9 off of the wall though. Yeah, that looks much better. Look at that. Very easy to read there. Find the personal items to sacrifice the 4. So like I said, Pack-a-Punch quest is pretty complex, but it still is pretty good game design, pointing out things to you on the map. But then to be able to do it is a whole other thing. I remember this is the time, and you can actually see this in my channel. I have a video of me doing it, well, not a video of me actually doing it live, but I was uploading YouTube content at this time, and so you could see my first sort of impressions of the Black Ops 3 Zombies mode on the channel already. And the ability to do this, to turn on power as a beginner, especially when we have a Margwa, multiple Margwas before we even turn on Pack-a-Punch, is a feat. They really went in with this map. I mean, this is classic zombies. Well, not even classic zombies. It's Blundell zombies at its highest expectations. But hopefully, yeah, okay, there you go. Killed the Margwa. He's not that bad. We've got our parasites. Yeah, that's right. Parasites. Wow, all the way. And then we've got the Margwa heart. Parasites just got reintroduced into Black Ops 6, man. But before I embarrass myself, I am gonna grab myself some jug here. We're playing classic zombies. I've been known to go down in classic zombies every once in a while, but I did eventually learn how to optimize this run here, knowing what things to electrify first, knowing what things I do and don't need to do. A lot of things that the more complex maps like Shadows of Evil does. Of course, we're gonna miss this. It's actually really good to know about zombies as a whole. Okay, there's the part piece, and this is always really sketchy, except I think we're okay. I think we're all right. I mean, can you imagine like doing all of this stuff as your first zombies map? It's incredibly overwhelming. However, when looking back on it, and even at the time, you might think, oh, well, the hardcore zombie players liked this. Not necessarily, not back in the day. Shadows of Evil was actually viewed a little bit more controversially than it is now. Now it's seen as this awesome zombies map, and clearly I agree. However, a lot of people didn't like, well, how long it took you to open up Pack-a-Punch. A lot of people didn't like the parasites and the Margwas. That was a little too alien-y. People didn't like Extinction. They didn't want Extinction aliens in their zombies mode. And so most people, even, you know, the high big YouTubers, the Smith Plays, Lex at the time, they were playing the giant. Hey, look, it's 115. Let's go. In fact, I would go as far as to say that people almost treated Shadows of Evil like how they're currently treating Terminus in Black Ops 6. It's not necessarily bad, but it's just something forgotten about. People would rather play Liberty Falls, they'd rather play the easy map, and then DLC 1 comes out, of course, Dresdraha with the castle and the 4 different wonder weapons, and Citadel comes out with a castle and the 4 different wonder weapons, and Shadows of Evil kind of goes under the radar for a long time, which I feel like Terminus is doing that same thing right now. But finally, we have our final little arm of the map here. We have the police district, or whatever this district is called. We can go and open that up. I do, if you're confused, if you're a new zombie player and you've always wanted to get into Shadows of Evil, I do have a step-by-step walkthrough. Can I not get up here? What's going on here? There we go. Okay, that's unfortunate. I don't think we're going to be able to make this in one go now. That's so sad. Can I please electrocute that? I think we got it. I do have a walkthrough of all of this stuff, exactly what I'm doing. I know I can't talk through all of this right now, but I do have a guide on my channel for you. Because even looking back to this day, this map is a masterclass in atmosphere, Easter eggs, side quests, and storytelling, because this is one of the more personal and I guess small scale stories. I mean, can you say that when we're about to unleash the Shadow Man into the skybox? That's something else. You can see it's a normal skybox now. We'll see after we turn on Pack-a-Punch if that's still the same way. The Ruby Rabbit. Ah, yes, here we go. And here we are, our 4th and final gate worm. Super weird for zombies, a gate worm. And we have yet another Margwa. Really claustrophobic. I mean, when you compare this inside area to anything we've got now, it is really tight and close quartered. Like I said, luckily these Margwas are really easy to take care of. And of course, I forgot this gate worm. And it was around this time where I really fell in love with zombies. Obviously during the course of all of Black Ops 3, I really loved zombies, and I heard a bunch of people, because Black Ops 3 is, you know, a lot more complicated than other zombie modes. I heard a lot of people talking about how difficult it is, how complicated it is, and I was like, actually, it's really not all that bad. And in order to teach people that, in order to show people how easy zombies is, I created my own mini-series on the channel called Zombies 101. All of you original fans will know Zombies 101. That's what got me into the zombies scene. Before that, I was more of a multiplayer / Minecraft creator. Isn't everybody, right? Isn't everybody before they do what they do? Let's hope I get this jump. Let's hope. All right, very good. And so Zombies 101 was basically my first tutorial series teaching people how to become a more confident and competent zombie player. And this is where the iconic music comes from in a lot of my videos. This Pack-a-Punch theme is so epic. I mean, look at this. Look at this. You compare this huge, awesome, epic musical score. We've got this crazy Shadow Man Octopus Apothecon guy. You compare all of that to what we did in Die Rise just a little bit ago, just a Pack-a-Punch on an elevator, to this. Oh my goodness, it doesn't compare. It simply does not compare. Oh, and we got our first bug round. Let's go. Gonna need it too, because we are almost out of ammo here. I feel like these parasites are a lot less deadly than the parasites in Black Ops 6. Now, I do want to show you one of my all-time favorite Easter eggs in all of zombies. But first, let's go ahead and appreciate this wonderful skybox now full of an Apothecon alien in the sky and Icarus from Mob of the Dead. Look at that. Fun little Easter egg. See, it's narrative beats like that, which is what makes people love classic zombies so much. And in the tradition of classic zombies, we're going to spin this wonderfully gross mystery box. Let's see what we get. HVK. HVK is a decent gun. Good point weapon. What else do we got? Ooh, the Dredge. It's also a good point gun, not a great gun. Ooh, we got our first liquid divinium. Let's go. And Man of War. I actually really like the Man of War. So now let's show you again, elevator and Die Rise compared to this portal with a tentacle in it, full of these symbols and mystery and intrigue. Like, it is no surprise that people fell in love with this mode, because this, and especially around Jason Blundell, this is where zombies started becoming more than just about zombies and the progression of the gameplay. Yes, there was a story before, but it really wasn't as front and center as it is in Black Ops 3. Now, this Easter egg requires us to use these trip mines, and with a higher focus of Easter eggs and story, you clearly got maps that had a lot more Easter eggs and a lot more involvement in the storyline. So doing all of these rituals and performing all of those tasks here at the beginning of this match was a lot for a lot of people, myself included. And so it's no surprise that people really got turned off by this mode, especially around Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4. However, if we go ahead and throw down a trip mine, kill a zombie in front of these Holly's cream cakes here, we'll get a little laugh, and then we move on over to the Footlight District and go ahead, throw another trip mine right there, wait for a zombie, and
just came down on that performance.
All right, that was close enough. Very good. Let's head on back down. And you gotta admire this really awesome Pack-a-Punch camo. I mean, absolutely gorgeous. But finally, the last step of this Easter egg is getting a kill with the trip mine by this cream cake cart. And what do you know? Now our trip mines, if we throw down a trip mine, it is actually a donut and it's going to explode in a bunch of donuts. Clearly one of the best Easter eggs in all of zombies. Now, in addition to the main quest getting more and more difficult, Jason Blundell also implemented, in my opinion, a far superior buildable system. Having a shared inventory instead of one piece at a time like we saw back in Die Rise, Transit, and Buried, we're able to build things including stuff like the zombie shield, which was basically armor before armor. Now, for as positively as people talk about the shield nowadays, it was actually kind of graining on players after Black Ops 4. It was fun at the time, it was a nice little bonus, but people started getting a little annoyed with the tediousness of finding the 3 different parts in 3 different different locations in every single game. But at this point in time, especially in Black Ops 3, that was not the case. And as for me, I very much loved Black Ops 3. This is where I learned how to train, this is where I learned all the perks, this is where I learned all the strategies, high rounds. I even did Der Eisendrache's Easter egg, and after Black Ops 3, I was a certified zombies fanboy. However, I do want to note, oh, we've got meatballs coming in, and you're like, meatballs, donuts, what? Yep, legit meatballs. I do want to say, here in the Black Ops 3 section, we may look back on Black Ops 3 and say, oh my goodness, the zombies will never be topped, these maps are awesome, the mechanics are great. And while it's true that a lot of these things are awesome and the mechanics are good, people didn't always share that mentality during the life cycle of Black Ops 3. I obviously went over how people were kind of iffy with Shadows of Evil until later in the game's life cycle. However, much like today, how we're very roller coastery with our opinions, Treyarch nerfs something and zombies is in danger and it's over and they hate fun. Treyarch buffs something and oh my goodness, they're listening to us and thank goodness Treyarch is the best. That was still the case way back in Black Ops 3. Nothing really has changed. Shadows of Evil comes out, the Giant comes out, we're not quite sure the direction, Der Eisendrache comes out, oh my goodness, zombies, this is best zombies ever. And then Zetsubo comes out and we have people legitimately saying it's like one of the worst zombie maps of all time, which is just hilarious. Zetsubo is awesome, but people really thought, oh my goodness, it's so bad, it's so terrible. It's not, but they thought it was worse than Transit. They thought this is the end of zombies, they don't know what they're doing anymore. Then Gorod Krovi comes out, oh my goodness, zombies is saved, this is best zombies ever. Revelation comes out, oh my goodness, this is the worst zombies ever. Zombie Chronicles come out, oh my goodness, this is the best zombies ever. And we go back and forth all the time. And so even what arguably a lot of people say is their favorite zombie mode ever made is still not immune to those criticisms. Now, I do say that Black Ops 3 is the classic zombies formula perfected because, well, I think it is. Other than like buffing and nerfing certain ammo mods, readjusting some weapon damage, or maybe some perk effects, there really isn't a way to make Black Ops 3 zombies better because it's a classic formula and it's really darn good. And so Treyarch was tasked with making a zombie game that was better than their best zombies game ever. It's a really difficult position to be in, and what they decided was they have to reevaluate everything, take their emotions out of it, put on their game designer hats, and completely redesign zombies from the ground up. And so at the end of Black Ops 3's life cycle, we got custom maps and custom mod support. We got Zombies Chronicles, which is one of the best compilations of the best zombie maps all in one place. They clearly gave us the best send-off that classic zombies could ever have because they knew that their next game would radically change everything and people might not like it. And that, my friends, brings us to one of my favorite zombie games of all time, Black Ops 4. I know, crazy statement just said, I like Black Ops 4. And it's true, it's one of my top 2 favorite zombies games. And I know I'm not playing a launch map, but I think Ancient Evil really encompasses most of what I love about Black Ops 4. The first of which being the maps and its atmosphere. I mean, take a look at this. It's like buried when we're underground. Look at these huge waterfalls, the solar panels right there, or sun panels. You've got these amazing statues. This is the chaos storyline at its very best. But of course, I think it is worth talking about the state of Black Ops 4 when it was released, because that's how a lot of people remember Black Ops 4. Perhaps and there's our Sentinel artifact, which we very well may be getting very soon in Black Ops 6. Really interesting. Oh, and I love the spectacle of this. You've got Perseus right there yelling at you. You've got your bosses of the map rising up from the ground, and it's a little mini tutorial about how they work. Oh, I love this map so much. But this game, Black Ops 4, is infamous for the blue screens that went on during its life cycle, at least the beginning of its life cycle. A lot of people might point to like the perk system or the point system, but believe it or not, Black Ops 4, at least the perk system of Black Ops 4, really wasn't that negatively received when the game first came out. In fact, there were many people, what's up, Pegasus? Oh yeah. Oh man, I miss this. So was so good. And then it flies away. We have all of these crystals here, and then we've got these little wisps going out signifying the main quest and a free max ammo. Oh, what an intro. What an intro of a map. We've got this beautiful artwork. I don't know if I could talk to you without gushing over this map. Like I said, a lot of people actually weren't all that upset about the perk system. A lot of people might have even liked not having Jug and being able to pick what perks you want freely, which, spoiler alert, that's kind of what I like about this perk system. Now, luckily, let's pop a little temporal here. We got elixirs. Luckily, we kind of got the best of both worlds in Black Ops 6, where the perk augments sort of function like the perks here in Black Ops 4, where you get to tailor your playstyle, but they also function like the classic progression system from Black Ops 3 and before and Cold War. Now let's hit the mystery box here. But when this game first came out, it was really buggy, really glitchy. Now, I am among the lucky ones here who never really experienced that many crashes. I crashed a lot more in Black Ops 4's multiplayer than I ever did in zombies. And so my perspective of Black Ops 4 is a lot more positive than some other people's. Let's go ahead and pick up this golden bridle here and meet the Giganese and try to take him down. He's got a lot of health, a lot of health. He is very bullet spongy here, probably the most bullet spongy enemy in Black Ops 4. But as I said at the end of that Black Ops 3 section, ooh, double nuke, this was the game that Jason Blundell and the team at Treyarch really took off the gloves and said, hey, we are going to revisit everything. There's a fascinating live stream done by The Race. The Race was doing their typical live stream where they race to prestige, max prestige or whatever. And in that live stream, they played a little bit of zombies with Jason Blundell, and he went on about how they took a look at every single system in zombies in an attempt to make it even better. And a lot of the time, like with the perk system, they kind of had to break their own hearts and go with something different, something more thoroughly designed, if you want to put it that way. They had different goals in mind when making Black Ops 4. This is a game that I don't see, and I encourage you not to see, as a sequel to Black Ops 3. This is the first iteration of a brand new zombie mode. It is vastly different than a lot of things that came before it, and a lot of people think that's a bad thing, but it could also be a good thing. And right here, we've got a little dig site. We've got a dormant hand. That is going to help us get the wonder weapons of the map. In fact, let's go ahead right here. We've got a little lockdown sequence we can do. You just protect this little area. You can't go outside of this little area. You've got to defend the spot by the little zombies here. You can see it's kind of like Black Ops 6 where they glow a certain color. Those are the special enemies, or the special ones just spawned in for this little thing. There we go. Gaia finds us worthy, and now we have the Fallen Hand of Gaia, and this is one of the 4 elemental wonder weapons that we can upgrade actually right now by shooting these red things on this tree and then getting a little seedling apparently. Oh, we should probably not go that way, but I think that's the only way we have to go. Let's go ahead and train up the zombies then. Go all the way around to kind of zigzag our way through it. There you go, Donuts. You know how to play zombies. But along with the whole just resetting of the basics of zombies and kind of redesigning everything that might not be as popular, this was, I believe, Jason Blundell's big like suit of armor around the world. This was his magnum opus of, hey, I'm gonna give the zombies community everything they ever asked for. In Black Ops 3, we asked every DLC, we need new perks, we need new perks. We're tired of just Widow's Wine being the new perk. And in Black Ops 4, he gave us all of these amazing perks, in my opinion. We asked for more modes in Black Ops 3 other than standard round-based. I know that's crazy to think about right now, but we were like, you know, it's nice to have these, but where are the survival maps? Where are the smaller maps? Where's Grief and Turn and all these different game modes? Well, Black Ops 4 launched with the Rush game mode and then later came out with the Gauntlet game mode. On top of that, we have custom mutations, which allows you to fully customize every single aspect, or most aspects, about every single thing about zombies here in Black Ops 4. There's a tutorial mode similar to like what we have in Black Ops 6, and there's bot support, so you can play zombies with AI bots. They will like buy doors for you and revive you when you're down. It's really cool. You get to hear the extra dialogue and the Easter eggs of these games. The Easter eggs of these games are sensational. However, just like in Shadows of Evo, we were talking about how much more deep and in depth those Easter eggs were compared to the ones previous. Black Ops 4 doubled down with that. They went in that direction even further, making these Easter eggs even more difficult, even more long, even more complex, and I gotta say, I love them. I know they're not for everybody, and I understand why they don't do them all the time anymore, but there is something really special about them here in Black Ops 4. However, as this is kind of my history with Black Ops 4, for the entire time that Black Ops 4 was released, at least during its life cycle, I never did an Easter egg. I only ever watched these Easter eggs. It wasn't until the 2022 or 2023 with Modern Warfare 2 2022 that I actually went back to Black Ops 4 and did some of these Easter eggs. And that's when I really fell in love with all of the Easter eggs. Before then, I would just kind of casually play the maps. I wouldn't really go for high rounds. I would just kind of go with the wonder weapons and the little side quests and stuff that each map had. And that's a perfectly viable playstyle for anybody even now. Because man, oh man, just the basics, like just this wonder weapon is so cool, isn't it? Oh, I love it so much. But we are gonna put it back here and we are gonna ride the Pegasus because it should be about time that we open up the Pack-a-Punch here. Look at that, we get a mid-game cutscene with Pegasus right here. And then we get sent to the underworld with all of these snakes and giant snakes. And look at that, oh my, it's so good. Of course, we have to look for the parts to the Pegasus strike down here. I think one of them's right there. Beautiful. Let's head on into here because we need to use our specialist that we have, which was very controversial. This is my favorite specialist. This is the Hammer of Valhalla here. We've got a free Odin's Raven, and this is kind of similar to the Crystal Axe of Cold War, but it's basically, you know, Thor's hammer. It's a giant hammer, and it's really darn fun. Oop, there's a little piece, and there's the last piece. Very good. I'm gonna go ahead and build this Pegasus strike now. You just come over to the workbench that doesn't look anything like a workbench, and then just like that, we have the Pegasus strike. And we can come over here, and eventually, once we get our hammer charged again, we can open up Pack-a-Punch. But look at this. We've got one of Odin's birds right here next to this dead god right here. But not only did Black Ops 4 launch with all of those different features, it also launched with 4 fully fledged zombie maps. And a lot of people will try to tell you, oh, but quality over quantity and all this stuff. Those 4 launch maps are still excellent quality compared to some of the other maps that we've gotten since then and before then. Ooh, we've got an insta kill. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna break down this cage right here. We're gonna open up this bird, and then with our insta kill that deals more damage to the special enemies, we're gonna go ahead and use our hammer here and hopefully, yeah, kill that guy. Very nice and easy. And that is going to leave us open to starting this Pack-a-Punch lockdown with the Odin's Ravens right there. We've got a little lockdown with more skeletons, and it could get kind of sketchy, but not when you're at the end of the round, and these skeletons will be fine. You got to shoot them in the head, otherwise they respawn and come back. Fun little game mechanic there. And you can use this Pegasus strike to slam down this little thing here, and Pegasus comes back, and it acts sort of like a monkey bomb, little Casimir grenade. It's awesome. It's really fun. Oh, and speaking of fun, here is the Pack-a-Punch. And this is our first introduction of multi-Pack-a-Punch. There are 5 different stages of the Pack-a-Punch. You Pack-a-Punch once, and then you Pack-a-Punch an additional 4 times for Black Ops 4, supposedly. Not as powerful as Cold War or Black Ops 6's Pack-a-Punch, but they were getting there. They were getting there. Like I said, this is like the rough draft version of these certain things. The new point system, the new perk system, the new Pack-a-Punch system. This was them trying to figure out what they wanted to go with. Now, despite what I think was a really solid entry into the zombies game, this was kind of the darkest time for the zombies community. Oh, we got another hand. Very good. We got another hand. Let's do this. During this time, even though we had these epic landscapes, like look at this, it's a snake wrapped around this cage. We've got this, like, it's so atmospheric, it's so way crazy out there. This is something we would kill to have in a modern zombies game. People weren't exactly excited for it. They wanted the more kind of Black Ops 1 sci-fi-esque level of story, not this fantasy Indiana Jones style adventure. People didn't like the new Chaos storyline, which is what we're playing right now, because it wasn't the original storyline. And the original storyline was full of remakes, and the only original content of the game were these chaos stories. And nowadays, we really appreciate what these chaos maps did, but during the life cycle, the reactions were split at best. And obviously, there's a bunch of stuff that I just can't cover here because we're just doing a live commentary on these things. There's a lot more drama, a lot more nuance to these takes than I'm actually letting on here. There was a leaker, a disgruntled employee or QA tester. It was a lot of drama. It really wasn't pretty. And that kind of poisoned a lot of people's minds about Treyarch, and the community kind of lost it on itself with the blue screens and the QA tester, what he said. It was a mess. It was a mess. It was, in my mind, the worst, most toxic the community has ever been. So as much as I love this game, it actually also marks the time where I kind of pseudo left zombies for a little bit. At least I stopped following it as closely just because everything seemed to be so negative. But then, like I said, years later, I came back to this game, and I also, I played Tog der Toten and Alpha Omega when they came out, so I didn't like quit zombies or anything, but it was just hard to engage with the community. And then when Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 2019 hit, going back to these games, I just realized how, I guess maybe petty that is to not play a game because of what the community's saying. And that's why oftentimes today, especially with like Black Ops 6 or Modern Warfare 3, I will say that if you like something, just keep on playing it. Like, no one's there to stop you. Don't let others' opinions influence how much you enjoy something. I was in love with Black Ops 4. I loved the ideas. I loved how bold it was. And yes, of course, it has problems. Like, the perk system ain't perfect. The point system ain't perfect. The shields aren't perfect. The Easter eggs aren't perfect. There's a lot of things that they could have done better and that they have done better since. But that doesn't stop me from appreciating the good that is still within Black Ops 4. And if you ask me, the good outweighs the bad by a lot. And speaking of, oh my goodness, secret sauce. I have secret sauce on my thing, but we just got Blood Wolf Bite, so I'm gonna keep that. I was just gonna talk about how the perk system is a little bit funny here. I have one of my favorite perks in Zombshell. This will actually, when you get a headshot, it'll spawn in this little gas which will slow down zombies and make them take more damage, which I think is awesome for both camping and training. I also have Bandolier Bandit, which increases our ammo capacity. Oh, and we've got Blood Wolf Bite activated. This is Luna, little friendly dog, friendly wolf taking care of zombies. She's actually really good against the bosses. She deals a lot of damage, at least in the earlier rounds. But now let's go ahead and do some secret sauce. Now, secret sauce is cool because, for example, oh, never mind. Example later. That's a Blightfather. You got to take Blightfather seriously. In fact, let's actually do this. This might be fine. Where's the Blightfather? Okay, please don't kill me. Please just don't do the pincer moves, please. I just want to be able to smash you. Very good. Kind of launched him over. We can hopefully upgrade our specialist. As we were saying, I just got Victorious Tortoise in my perk 1 slot. Now, because that's actually a secret sauce slot, we can go back up to this perk machine and just buy another perk. And hey, what do you know? I got stamina, which I will gladly take. Oh, that's so like, the atmosphere of this map is it's not been matched yet. It's still, they've never made a map as grand spectacle as Ancient Evil. Just every inch of this map oozes with stuff. Oh, what's even a cool detail, if you go up to certain things and you hold the interaction button, you'll get a specific quote from the Oracle about whatever it is you're looking at. It's like the intel system, but it's like tied to the specific thing of the map, which is just, there's so much depth and so much creativity. You can feel it. You can feel it pour over into the map. And at this stage in my zombies career, you know, I had first been interested in it pre-Black Ops 3 and all the Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 stuff. Black Ops 3 is where I really got into it, but Black Ops 4 is the first game where I went into zombies, being a zombies fan right from the start, and I was able to really fully enjoy this map and this game, being a quote-unquote true zombies fan. And we could go on and on and on about the changes that Black Ops 4 made to the formula, but over overall, this really was the birthplace of modern zombies. The point system is fixed, the perk system is very different. Even when it comes to certain things like augments, you can see that once we bought all of our perks, we now have what we call a perk modifier on our Odin perk, which is going to be Bloodwolf Bite. So you can see Luna here is actually going to be dropping little tiny max ammos, which gets us a little bit more ammo, a little bit more power for our specialist weapon. And these are just seeds of ideas that are going to be fully fledged out in the future. But for as amazing and truly special I think Black Ops 4 is, Black Ops 4 is not a redemption story. It's actually a tragedy, because we go from these atmospheric maps with a bunch of Easter eggs and so much detail to a global pandemic and a change in leadership, the leaving of Jason Blundell, and the rest of the developers are now reacting to the Black Ops 4 feedback, which results in us going from this kind of zombie map to this kind of zombie map. Now, I know that's a pretty harsh statement, especially about a game that a lot of people love. Lots of people love Cold War. I loved Cold War back when it was first out. But as I was thinking about what map I wanted to play, what Cold War map I really wanted to get into, I really legitimately couldn't think of one. Even Mauer der Toten, I was kind of lackluster of it. After playing Black Ops 6, after playing Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3 today, like, none of these maps really stand out as classics to me. And this is something that I've gone over in the past, talking about how I think Cold War isn't gonna age the best, but even though its map selection might be a little lackluster, the best thing about Cold War has to be its mechanics, which I know for a lot of you is also a negative about Cold War. But for basically the entirety of Cold War's life cycle, I distinctly remember everybody, well, most people, coming to the conclusion that Cold War is like a renaissance of the zombie mode. These mechanics actually worked, whereas the Black Ops 4 mechanics didn't. You had, I think it was like Monkey Bomb right off the bat. You had like Tim Hansen saying this is a mechanical masterpiece. You had, I think, Noah J at one point saying, hey, this zombies is going to be as good as Black Ops 3 zombies. We are so back, or something to that effect. Maybe not those exact words, but he was excited about it. We were all excited about Cold War, and during Cold War's life cycle, it was still received fairly positively. The things that are negative about it are still negative about it. The HUD, the health bars, and the loadout system, the armor people didn't really like. People were weary of the crafting table and the salvage and all that stuff, just like they are today. But I don't think we had enough time to digest just how big of a difference these things made within the zombie mode. Oop, there's our tier 1 armor that just dropped on the ground, really good. But as for me, I was somebody who really liked Cold War Zombies. Throughout its life cycle, I really liked how fun it was. I liked the stupid dopamine things like you just saw on the screen right there. The zombie critical kill things popping up all the time was really satisfying, and psychologically that's exactly why it's there. I love the rampage inducer. I do like Mauer der Toten. I liked how equipment was now important to zombies and everything was useful into the high rounds. And I didn't mind the loadout system. I thought it was really nice to have a weapon that didn't start off super well, even though it's still like really good on round 8. I appreciated the notion. I appreciated the philosophy that they were going for. And if you're a fan of the channel, you know the story that I'm about to tell you. This was when I first started getting into Easter eggs. Because the Easter eggs were much more accessible and easy to do, I decided to try them out for the first time, and I began my video essay about how much better the Cold War Easter eggs were versus the Black Ops 3 and the Black Ops 4 Easter eggs. I know, pretty crazy to think about, right? But what it was not the fact that these Easter eggs are any better or worse than the previous Easter eggs, but rather this was the first time my foot was in the door of the Easter egg world. Oh yes, and this is a big reboot, so everything past Black Ops 4 is not necessarily not canon anymore, it's still canon, but it's basically like a soft reboot. So this has to establish a brand new storyline. And in it, we have, to this day, one of the best Dark Ether representations in any zombie game we've had since, which is kind of a missed opportunity. Now, if you know me, you know I also very much like the Vanguard Dark Ether. That was such a beautiful Dark Ether. But this was the first game that started leading players with those icons, those HUD indicators, indicators through the Pack-a-Punch quest, even going as far as to labeling these machine parts that are 2 feet from you and then bringing them to the Pack-a-Punch. There are a lot of people who don't like this, and myself included. However, I completely understand why they are here with how complicated the last 2 zombie games were, Shadows of Evil, Zetsubo no Shima. We're gonna Pack-a-Punch this, we're gonna put on Cryo Freeze because it's actually part of the Pack-a-Punch here. The complexity of those maps in Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4 isolated a large part of people who wanted to play zombies. And so for the people who wanted to play zombies but just couldn't get into it, they made Cold War. And they made it really accessible. They have those Pack-a-Punch quests like laid out for you so that way you can't ignore them. Now there are fun different side Easter eggs. For example, this is going to be the dancing coffin side Easter egg. You shoot those little orbs and then it brings you into the room, and then we have the dancing coffin meme, right? Straight from, I don't know what, 2019, whenever this game came out, 2020. And eventually when this ends, we are going to get a free loot crate out of here. And within that loot crate is going to be a free can of Jug and a free weapon. Wow, look at that. We've got the FFAR. That's the exact gun that I'm using. Sweet. Now also with Cold War, we can apply our custom mods to the weapons that we have, right? Equipped. Very good. So now we've got just a free blue upgrade to our FFAR. But to be honest, I think I'm going to save the points and I'd rather spend the salvage, since salvage is a little bit easier to come up by. We're going to go ahead and upgrade our weapon here. And again, through the arsenal station, the OG arsenal station. Wow. And this is going to be our first introduction of the exfil. See, there's so many systems like this, like the exfil, where it's just such a nice quality of life that I legitimately miss the exfil system when I go back and I play older zombies games. Like in Ancient Evil, I wish we had an exfil system. I wish there's a way to end the game without just hitting exit. I know functionally it doesn't mean much, but emotionally, in terms of fun, I like having the option to exfil. It makes it a little bit more cinematic. Now, the reason I went with D Maschine is because I think it's one of my favorite maps of Cold War. I do obviously like Mauer Toten, but I love the simplicity of D Maschine. I love the fact that it's just Hellhounds and those Megatons that we just fought. It doesn't have any Mangler spam. It doesn't have any Mimic spam or Disciple spam. It feels the most like a classic zombie map where the main priority is the zombies. And oh, we have a little DIE remote control. And believe it or not, the main thing about Cold War that sometimes we forget about is not the fact that, hey, it implemented all of these systems, but during the time of Cold War's release, we were all talking about how this should have been a Sledgehammer title. And there are just certain things about the story, about the mechanics that kind of nod to it being a Sledgehammer sequel. For example, before Cold War, points were always just points. They weren't really canonized in any way, but now we have essence. They made it a name. They gave it an actual in-game explanation. The field upgrades, when you take a look at the field upgrades, they are shockingly similar to the field upgrades or specialists that we had in World War II zombies. And the overall story and gameplay and little interactables kind of remind me of World War II zombies more than they do Treyarch zombies. Not that that's a bad thing, it's just a fun fact that Sledgehammer was working on this mode for so long, and then, you know, politics and something happened, I don't know, drama happened behind the scenes, and then Treyarch got stuck with finishing the project. And hopefully, can this guy get destroyed by the DIE? Pretty please, can you please? Thank you. All right, and then all we've got to do is discharge this and boop, there we go. And now we have the wonder weapon, the DIE. And if you didn't know, this is the original Nocturne Toten map, right smack dab in the middle of this map. And whereas Black Ops 4 Zombies was kind of our first steps into the modern era, Cold War is like a big, huge leap into the modern era. This is the game most similar to Black Ops 6 that we have today, except for the fact that the armor system's a little bit different, the point system's a little bit different, the perk system's pretty different. However, something that Black Ops 6 doesn't have that Cold War does is going to be Ring of Fire. And Ring of Fire increases your damage against zombies exponentially. It's kind of broken. This is the main high round strategy for every single single map in Cold War, is just find a Ring of Fire strategy, find a way to get Ring of Fire back quickly, and just spam Ring of Fire. But in my opinion, living through Cold War wasn't too terrible in terms of gameplay. The gameplay is fun. The gameplay, Black Ops 4 made a big problem with the progression of zombies. You know, players said you started off too powerful with the equipment and the specialist weapon, and you already had Jug basically equipped. And so Cold War tried to remedy this by extending that progression tenfold from anything we had seen before. And that's something that I kind of admired. I like the fact that we have 3 pack-a-punches. I like the fact that each weapon can be upgraded 4 different times. I like that you can get all the perks because it just extends that progression. And that was what was missing from Black Ops 4. And so from the hate that Black Ops 4 had, Cold War was an answer to all of that. In fact, one of the first teasers we got for Cold War was the original Juggernog theme. Now granted, it wasn't the original perk system that returned, but it showed that they were trying to push the game mode forward while still trying to be aware of our feedback and what we wanted. Not to mention the global pandemic that was going on during this game's life cycle, plus the fact that it was supposed to be Sledgehammer's title, it led to Cold War having one of the, in my opinion, worst DLC seasons for a zombies title. Ever since Black Ops 1, zombies would get at least 4 DLC maps. However, in Cold War got a total of 4 maps, including the launch map. Now, the reasons for this are exactly as I stated, you know, pandemic, they got pulled off of Black Ops 4, this is supposed to be a Sledgehammer game, all that good stuff, but only having Maschine for the first season, or half a season, whatever season 0 was, and then however long into season 1 we got Firebase Z, it was absolutely torture. But what was even worse, well, we've got the Wonder Fizz now. Sweet. Okay, look how easy this is. I'm going to do Deadshot, I'm going to do Speed Cola, PhD, Death Perception, Stamina, and we'll just wait. But what was even worse was the time in between Firebase Z and Mauradar Toten. It was quite literally like 5 months in between round-based maps. During a Treyarch Zombies year, it was torturous. And luckily, once Mauradar Toten dropped, we got a lot of good quality of life updates. We got a Halloween update, then Forsaken dropped. They really ended Cold War very well. But people still thought it was too easy and it was too this and it catered to new players too much, which very well may be true. But it did start to feel like these mechanics were actually building on top of itself and creating a new experience that didn't feel like classic zombies, but didn't feel like a ripoff of classic zombies either. Oh no, big bad guy, Ring of Fire. Instant win button. Well, plus an insta-kill, we're unstoppable. Wow. And of course, like I said, it kind of taught me how to do Easter eggs, and so that inspired me to go back and do some Black Ops 3 and more Black Ops 4 Easter eggs, which at the very least, isn't that a good thing? Getting people more comfortable with the zombies mode so they can go back to the old games and see how well they do. And if you were to ask me during the life cycle of Cold War, I would have said, no, I love Cold War because it's so easy, because it's so accessible. It's nice to feel really powerful. And that's something you hear a lot of people say now. It's a PvE mode, so why nerf anything? Why not make everything incredibly overpowered? Well, I think for me, the problem started to reveal itself after Cold War's life cycle and after Vanguard's life cycle. Like I said, back in the Modern Warfare 2 2022 year, I went back and I played some Cold War, I played some Black Ops 4, and I realized I was more interested in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 because in Cold War, well, these maps were so darn easy, I had basically done everything I wanted to do with them. I'd done all the Easter eggs, I've gotten to around 50 or 100 on whichever ones. And so there was no more challenge, there was no more thing I could test. And it wasn't a problem with the quantity because, you know, I still have like intel that I need to collect, or you can technically, you know, do this boss fight with this gun or this boss fight with this gun. But the problem was, because it felt so easy, those things really didn't seem like all that big of a challenge. And so the problem with having a game that's too easy, like I would argue Cold War is the fact that you don't get that much replayability. When you give the player too much power without making them earn it, it becomes unsatisfying. Triple pack-a-punch. Now, despite those issues that people did have with Cold War, especially when it came to the difficulty, people were still enjoying it. People still wanted to have the Cold War mechanics maybe just tweaked a little bit, maybe a little bit more balanced so that it was a little bit more challenging. And luckily, that's exactly what I think Black Ops 6 did, and that's exactly why I think Black Ops 6 is so great right now. And so Cold War, while it was a great game, I feel like it's just going to keep falling lower and lower in my favorites list of zombie games, because even though the structure's there, the maps are fairly bland. The gameplay is really easy, so there's really no challenge in coming back to these maps, even though there's some really fun stuff in here. I think Black Ops 6 just does everything better, even though I know the community's split on this game. Split, like the, you know. At the end of its life cycle, I was excited to see what a more refined version of these mechanics would be. Little did we know the journey that we were about to embark on was going to get a whole lot worse before it got any better. Now look, we're not going to spend too much time here. It's going to be like 2 minutes of the video, I promise. But Vanguard here is such an important aspect of modern zombies because it signifies, in my opinion, the lowest of the low. We have a multiplayer map, which admittedly looks pretty good. Still a multiplayer map, but it still looks atmospheric. I quite like what they did with it. But you've got a pack-a-punch right here, just in the middle of everything. You've got your Heart of the Covenants, which you can just, ooh, there's Deadshot right there. That's basically all of your little perk tiers or augments in one location. And then you've got your field upgrades right here that you can upgrade there. You've got your crafting table, which now has your armor in it, as well as all of this other stuff, and your singular mystery box. To progress the rounds, you'll notice there are no zombies right now. To progress the rounds, you will need to do any one of these objectives. This was the only piece of content we got in Vanguard's launch. Additionally, there was no pack-a-punch camo, the ray gun wasn't even in here yet, and this was just a zombies mode that never ever should have seen the light of day. Even with maybe not so good zombie modes like Turned, or even if you don't like something like Grief or Outbreak or something like that, you might be able to tell like, hey, you know, there's a good idea in here somewhere. But with Vanguard zombies, with this, I think what I'm calling War of the Dead style of objective-based thing, there really is no like vision, if you ask me. Oh yeah, the perk machines are cool. The art design of this game is really good, at least the zombified portion of it, that is. But this was made after Cold War, like immediately after Cold War, which we just discussed. They were all short-staffed with pandemic. They just made Cold War on short notice. Then they have to make this on a brand new engine. This is the Modern Warfare engine. So they had to recreate every single thing about zombies from the ground up, which is why this mode, that is the only mode that it launched with, doesn't have any door buys, no wall buys, there's no rarity system, there's a limited number of field upgrades and perks to choose from. The perks themselves, they have 4 tiers to them. The first level is free, but the next ones get more expensive, but they just do the same thing. Deadshot gets you more headshot damage, Stamina Up makes you run faster, and then the different tiers are just different intensities of that. It's not even that complex. Now, eventually they did manage to scrape up a couple round-based experiences, but they're nothing to write home about. Shinonuma is the best one, with it being the best version of Shinonuma, but again, it's the best version of a World at War map, so how valuable is that? This was so bad. We, as a zombies community, have never experienced anything like this before or since. And this was a gut punch, and this actually worried me as well. This was the first time that Activision or Treyarch or whoever you want to blame it on, whatever, it's just the situation, but it showed that, hey, zombies players, we are willing to throw out content just to put out content because it makes content for the game. Even with Black Ops 4, even with Cold War, there was at least some semblance of quality control and a larger vision and objective that they wanted to actually move forward with. But here, like, this doesn't even feel like a game that anybody thought would be fun conceptually, but that could just be my bias. Despite that negativity, there are some things, like I said, kind of the art design a little bit here. You can see with these little rune stones, those look pretty cool. The little, whatever you call this, what is this called? Sin Eater, those look pretty cool. These zombified things look really nice, and this sort of like hellish cult cultish theme is something that we hadn't seen in zombies all too much outside of World War II zombies, so it was kind of nice to see. And I have to admit, I do like the gods. Instead of generic field upgrades and little technological utensils, when you use a field upgrade now, you get this really cool little, like, whatever you would call that, like charm or object, obelisk, whatever. And hopefully you can tell that coming from Black Ops 3 and then Black Ops 4 and then even Cold War and then now with Vanguard, the quality difference is insanity. And it was at this point in time where I was starting to shout from the rooftops, hey, can we like stop making Treyarch make these zombie games? They were pulled off of Black Ops 4 early, they were pulled off of Cold War early to make this. They needed time, they needed quality dev time to make a good zombie experience. And luckily the next game in the franchise was Modern Warfare 2, and after Modern Warfare 2 we were going to go to a Sledgehammer title called Modern Warfare 3. This was great news. We're going to get Treyarch some more dev time to work on their next game. We're not going to have zombies, which is great. And then a little rumor comes out saying Modern Warfare 3 will have zombies, which is, you know, no big deal. That should just be fine. But then the bomb drops and Modern Warfare 3 Zombies is going to be developed by Treyarch. Yet again, cutting their development time for their own game short. But lucky for us, Modern Warfare 3 took a very different approach to zombies. Man, I gotta say, playing all of these games back to back to back really gives me an appreciation for where zombies has been and where Black Ops 6 is. It has been, well, ever since Black Ops 6 launched that I have played Modern Warfare 3. This is a very important game to me. However, I'm aware it's not important to everyone else. This is clearly not the normal zombies gameplay that we're all used to, but we have a big open map with a bunch of different people on it, and this is, in my opinion, the best that objective-based zombies has ever been. As we saw with Cold War's Outbreak and Vanguard's, well, whatever Vanguard was, there has been this idea to put objectives in zombies to make it a little bit more interesting and to bring in different types of crowds, and I think no other zombie game did that better than Modern Warfare 3. And believe it or not, Modern Warfare 3 kind of had a good reception when it first released. Like, don't get me wrong, people wanted round-based, but after Vanguard, and especially after DMZ, with DMZ in Modern Warfare 2, people realized that this sort of extraction shooter with a PvE focus could actually work. And calling in these contracts and having the reward rifts is a great way to keep people addicted to the gameplay. And then you have schematics, which gives you a long-term progression as well as all the story missions. It has a very solid foundation, and despite my absolute love and adoration of Black Ops 6, I do hope eventually, hopefully like Sledgehammer or not Treyarch, picks up the Modern Warfare 3 game mode, or extraction, whatever we're calling this looter shooter, extraction shooter, and I hope they iterate on this, because the real downfall of this mode was the lack of support that it got. We could have seen more maps, way more contracts, way more enemies, different types of rewards other than just end game schematics. This formula is almost as open world as it gets. Oh, plus we've got tax stance in here. I completely forgot tax stance exists. Just naturally on every single gun, which is really good for zombies. And look at that, we got a jug suit and napalm burst. My luck is still here, my luck is still here, let's go. And look at this, is this not a sight to behold? We're one of the only ones in tier 3. That is absolutely beautiful. And of all of the zombie games today that we've played, this kind of feels the least like zombies, but also I really don't hate this direction. That is, if it's done responsibly. Exploring the open world with these different Easter eggs and contracts can really work, and even showcases some of the best things that zombies can provide. I think it's a miracle. I think we are 10 minutes into this match and somebody hasn't even done these triangles yet. This match did take me quite a while to get in here, and it's kind of laggy, I'm not gonna lie, which is kind of another downfall of this mode, that it's going to be perpetually online. However, unlike the other zombies games which are online, which for PC players I think it's like Black Ops 4 and up, this mode requires you to play with other players. There is no solo mode for this, which is really not great, at least for the longevity of the mode. Playing with other players is actually pretty fun. I know a lot of people had some trouble playing with other players. They would grief them and take their stuff, but honestly, I didn't have that big of an issue. But the lack of new maps, the lack of new wonder weapons, bosses, special events within this map itself, the only updates we got really were for the end game content, which only happens to be like the last like 10 to 20% of your game. So the first like 80% of your game is going to be the same thing now as it was back on launch. Except of course, you're all ranked up now, you've got some schematics that you can use, but overall it's basically the same. Personally, this is where I really took YouTube seriously. I went from 8,000 subscribers to 80,000 subscribers. And mind you, if you remember from earlier in the video, oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, okay, that's right. That's what those crystals always get you. Okay, those triangles, right. If you remember, I actually started posting YouTube videos before even Black Ops 3. So it just goes to show you just how much garbage content there is on my channel. And this year was also pretty rough for the community, although I will say I think it kind of evened out a little bit because of the fact that this game appealed to a much different type of fan, I guess. It almost made a new community come out of nowhere. And from this game, we have our oversized ghillie, and we have our cool whips, our real ghosts, our spazos, and we have our mega abominations too, which you can kill super easily with your thermite grenades. In fact, I'm just an idiot. I've been playing too much Black Ops 6. I forgot how to properly take care of these guys. All you got to do is go up on one of these guys, get an elevation above him, and he'll just constantly zap ya. And you gotta be careful because there will be zombies here. I'm gonna go ahead and Ether Shroud though. That was the shortest Ether Shroud of my life. Can you zap us again, pretty please? I don't want to deal with all these zombies now. Thank you. All right, and then we're gonna throw that right there, and that should kill him nice and quick. Easy. Just like that. We got a VR 11 case, oh my, an essential. He dropped some goodies for us down there. I think that was just a kill streak we don't need. Yeah, it's just a kill streak we don't want. Oh, and you can hold 5 armor plates. Wow, what a luxury. But yeah, this mode really didn't focus on the killing hordes of zombies. It more so focused on the objectives. Oh yes, and I forgot to mention Crazy Shoot in there too. Those are the content creators that I discovered while playing Modern Warfare Zombies. Now, if I were smart, I really would have grabbed a Scorcher. Really would have liked to show you guys the whole map from high above. That being said, we have to check the donut toolbox up here, right? Maybe, just maybe, we might get our first legendary tool out of this toolbox. No, okay, all right. Well, you always got to check, don't you? I remember there's so many memories I have of this over here, like our first runs into tier 3, just being so terrified, earning our schematics. So many of you beautiful people commenting how much my videos helped, and that just means the world to me. And I hope that I'm doing that with Black Ops 6 as well. But I won't lie to you, it was around season 3 or so, and especially with that unstable rift. Oh, that unstable rift was torture. That was the time where I fell out of love with Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. Maybe not fallen out of love, but just realized that it's really tedious and repetitive. But that doesn't mean that there aren't some really awesome things about this mode. For example, this story mission is just one of my favorites. And in the very short time that I'm doing this run, it's just bringing back a whole bunch of memories of correct decisions that I really like them for deciding in this game. Whereas objective modes in the past have been trying to replicate what round-based did and stick to the round-based formula, this formula mirrors DMZ and is almost so different to round-based that that's what makes it work so well. It's the fact that it's so different from round-based zombies that makes it work so well, because it's not trying to be round-based. It's not trying to remind you of what zombies has been. It's trying to be something completely different, and I think on that front it really succeeds. And perhaps even more importantly, I think it has a long way to go before we see the full potential of this mode. Remember, we were just talking about in Vanguard how even the best version of that mode really doesn't have all that vision. What does the best version of Vanguard look like, and is that a good mode that people want to play? Well, I personally don't think so. However, with Modern Warfare 3, let's go and shoot the manglers here. Oh, hello manglers. With Modern Warfare 3, the best version of this mode is something that I think could really grow an entirely different community on its own. I'm not lying to you, there was so much interest in this game, and part of the reason why I think I found success on YouTube during Modern Warfare 3 was because of how many people didn't cover it and how many people were actually interested in it, because like I said, it was such a different community, it was such a different appeal to players that it got to the point that right before Black Ops 6, it was controversial in my comment section. Black Ops 6, going back to round-based zombies, people were like, oh my goodness, this is going backwards, oh my goodness, why didn't they put an open world in Black Ops 6? Crazy comments to think about now with how loved round-based zombies is, but that's a whole other community. And if you ask me, I absolutely want to see the potential of this mode fully fleshed out. I think that would be so special. Having this on different maps with different enemies, with different things to do, like, that sounds so amazing. But also, I'm very much in love with classic zombies too. I love me some round-based. That is my bread and butter. Black Ops 6 is everything that I wanted it to be. Well, most of what I wanted it to be. And I definitely got to say I'm enjoying Black Ops 6 much more thoroughly than I did Modern Warfare 3. However, I thoroughly enjoyed Modern Warfare 3. There are a lot of things to admire about this game mode. At the very least, as a proof of concept, it works fairly well. I think it would be really cool to have a year of round-based and then a year of this extraction Modern Warfare 3 type of mode, and then a year of like maybe Onslaught and more spin-off modes, Outbreak if you want. I like the fact that zombies developers are trying to mix it up, but I also want to respect the round-based mode because that is the bread and butter for a lot of us zombie fans. If we have an absolute banger of a round-based season in an entire year, and then we get an absolute banger of this extraction shooter, I don't see the downside. That's just good for everyone. And if little old dumb donuts can see that, I'm sure the developers have their own thoughts on that as well. Now, one of the things I think Modern Warfare Zombies could do with a little bit more is a little bit spectacle. You know, it's a little bit mundane here. So I don't, oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, I love this fight. Oh, I love this fight. This is so good. Come here, worm. I'm definitely gonna die. I haven't done this in so long. Let's get back up to the road, eh, donuts? Oh, he's gonna hit me. Okay, so luckily we've got golden armor. And if you don't know what golden armor does, let's go ahead and put our turret circuit in here. Golden armor will automatically revive your armor or refill your armor without any armor plates. So that is very good. Let's kill that laser, pretty please. Thank you. Slide out of his little ground slam right there. And this has to be like replaying this now. This is still a pretty awesome boss fight. Like, yeah, Terminus probably beats this, but in terms of this feels like almost like a Metroid Prime boss, you know, where with how many mechanics it deals with and how many things you can do, like you throw down a little thermite right there and then he goes after the thermite. I love that. The fact that you have his obvious weak points, the fact that you can engage with his laser and kind of cut it off short is really cool. Except I think we're a little too close to do that here, so let's go back this way. He throws out little orbs for you to deal with. I love the mechanics of this boss fight. One of the best boss fights in zombies still to this day, even though I very much like the Guardian and the Patient 13 boss fight a little bit more. There's not much distance between those boss fights. This one's pretty close. He does appear to be a little bit more bullet spongy than I remember. I've got a legendary triple pack-a-punch gun and I'm almost out of ammo here. Let's go ahead and remember to throw our thermite maybe over there. Let's get some ammo. Oh, he's going after me. He's going after me. Oh, watch out. Oh, it's been a while since he's gone after me. Watch out, donuts. Oh boy. There you go again. Oh, the laser. Yeah, I could have sworn I remember this being a lot more intense than it currently is right now. Don't worry. I'll put on some awesome music in the background. It'll be really epic. Get out of here with your laser mouth worm. Come on, we've almost got him. I remember he gets super aggressive towards the end. Oh, get out of here, zombie. Let's go ahead, throw another thermite over there. Hopefully he goes for it. Nice. All right, this is it. Me and you, worm, one final time. Who knows when I'll play Modern Warfare Zombies again. He's going after me. Oh boy, we're gonna take a lot of damage. Oh, we had no armor. We might actually go down here. Come on, donuts, run. Get out of there. No. Out of ammo, out of armor. Let's go. Come on. No. He's so close. Oh, he's so darn close. Go to his weak spot. Come on, donuts, get him, kill him. Let's go. Come on. Nice. We got it. And finally, this animation is absolutely awesome. Give it a minute. Oh, yeah. And then he drops a bunch of goodies, lots of points, which is pretty useless. Hey, look, a blue ether tool. Gold skull, which is useless. Large rucksack, which is useless. You know, all this stuff, you know, it is what it is. Have to shout out one of the best skyboxes we've gotten. The skybox in the Dark Ether here in Modern Warfare 3, easily some of the best, right up there with D Maschine. And this is actually one of the best cutscenes in all of Modern Warfare Zombies. I love this shot right here, the little cutaway and the cut back to the zombies. And this is huge, right? This is Weaver, that's Carver, Dr. Gray, and Strauss right there. So in terms of our Black Ops 6 storyline, how in the world does this happen? We know that they end up in this place in Urzikstan potentially, and they all died or they're zombies now. Huge storyline implications for Black Ops 6 to this day. But hopefully so far you've been able to kind of see not only my story, but the story of zombies throughout these years. Starting off iconic with Black Ops 2, starting off going from Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 4 with those amazing maps, the over-the-top stuff, the in-depth this and that, and then going to Cold War, and then especially Vanguard, and now Modern Warfare 3, where the best thing about it is that it's not zombies. The hunger that the community had for Black Ops 6 was indescribable. And that's why, if you ask me, I am incredibly happy with Black Ops 6. And as I've said before, playing all of these games back to back, it is really nice. It puts things into perspective in a way that I already sort of suspected, but man, it feels really nice to be playing Black Ops 6 again, because Black Ops 6 really is a return to form to the classic zombies formula, especially after what we just got done with Modern Warfare 3. Coming back to an atmospheric map with zombies and set pieces and storylines and character quotes and maps that are, in my opinion, pretty darn fun to play. It's a really exciting time to be a zombie fan right now, especially because Treyarch revealed that today we should be getting some news about the next zombie map. Whether that's going to be coming at the start of Season 2, which I would find absolutely insane, or if it's actually bad news and they're going to be like, hey, actually it's not coming for a while, we're so sorry, but I don't think that's going to be the case, because they did say in their tweet that yes, this soon. But by the time this video's up, by the time you're watching it, you probably already know the news by now. And I know in terms of the community, Black Ops 6 is kind of divided right now, kind of, but not really. When you really dive into Black Ops 6 and the feedback, I would say a majority of people really are happy with Black Ops 6. Well, at least the zombie portion. Many people, even multiplayer people, are saying Black Ops 6 Zombies is carrying Black Ops 6. And all I gotta say was, Zombies has been carrying Call of Duty for a lot longer than Black Ops 6. Just look at this. Some people say these maps aren't atmospheric, but like there's an island out there that you can go to. It's a stormy island that's half prison, half science research facility. I know it's facility, but man, it's been 3 months and I guess, you know, I might still be in the honeymoon phase, but after playing Cold War and Vanguard and Modern Warfare 3, I'm not quite sure I'm in the honeymoon phase anymore. I think I just really like Black Ops 6. We've got our parasites back from Black Ops 3 Shadows of Evil. That is one thing I do wish was a little bit different. I wish the enemy design, or special enemies, whatever we're gonna call them, I wish there was a little bit more variety in the special enemies and boss zombies that we have. We have manglers and parasites and spiders again, which vermin are technically new, I guess, since they're not really spiders. The parasites are pretty one for one from Shadows of Evil, and manglers are pretty similar to how they act in every other iteration of zombies. So I'm a little disappointed with that, but I think the good of Black Ops 6 far, far, far outweighs the bad. Now we still do get a little bit of a guided thing here for power and pack-a-punch, which isn't really my cup of tea, but I completely understand why they insist on having that in here. And between you and me, the Omni movement of Black Ops 6 is very underrated. Going back and playing those old games, even a game like Cold War or Modern Warfare 3, where you wouldn't think that those would be outdated mechanics or an outdated movement system, it was actually kind of hard. Like I couldn't run sideways like I wanted to. I couldn't slide in any direction like you can here. This movement is like, I don't care if multiplayer people like it or not like it, it needs to be in zombies from now on. It's just too good. And I am aware that Black Ops 6 currently has its issues. It's not a perfect game. If you like the classic systems and than the classic zombies formula, this is definitely not that. But as for me, hopefully you can tell that I'm a fan of both systems. I really like Black Ops 3, I like Black Ops 4, I like those classic systems, but I'm also a really big fan of these new systems too. But I think Black Ops 6 having these mechanics and adding depth to them and adding challenge to them is the right direction. A lot of what people were worried about in Cold War was the difficulty of zombies. It was too easy. Like I said, there's no challenge, no reason to come back. However, in Black Ops 6, while most of those mechanics are still here, we still have salvage and the crafting table and armor and legendary or rarity of weapons and all that good stuff. It is rebalanced in such a way that none of it is incredibly overpowered. It all feels very useful, but the game has a way of keeping you accountable. And a lot of that, especially with these big maps, a lot of the way it holds you accountable is by throwing more zombies at you at a time. In Cold War, I think there was like 30 zombies on the map at a time. In Black Ops 6, I think it could go up to like 50 or 60 or something ridiculous. Plus, you want to talk about challenge, we got to do some math now. X equals 10, 10 times 2 is 20, plus 11 is 31. Z is 21, times 2 is 42, plus Y, which is 11, which would be 53, minus 5 would be 48, 11 plus 21 would be 32, minus 10 would be 22. At least let's hope so. Yeah, awesome. And let's go ahead and do our best to do this Easter egg, which might get us the wonder weapon. I always seem to miss this though. Let's see, can we do it? Let's go, we did it. Oh, speaking of modern mechanics that I'm in love with, we've got the SAM trials. Now, these were also in Cold War Zombies, the trials machine, but it wasn't as impactful because one, I don't think the rewards were really all that good, and second of all, it was located in the same area of the map at all times, so you had to go out of your way to activate it, whereas this one, you still sometimes have to go out of your way, but sometimes it'll just be on your way and you'll just, hey, let's go ahead and do that. And the fact that it always changes a location is pretty fun, making you utilize the map in a lot of different ways. It's one of my favorite new things, and you get a monkey bomb out of it. Let's go. I'm gonna keep my smoke though, because if you know, you know. All right, our multiphasic resonator is calibrated, but first we have to go over here and see if we can't shoot down this meteor. Did we do it? Did we do it? I think we might have messed it up. Yep, we messed it up somehow. I don't think we did it fast enough. Oh well, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Now, if you're not doing the main quest, something that I adore about this map is that you don't need to leave the island. You don't need to leave this main island. Everything you need is on the main island. But if you want to do this Wonder Weapon quest, if you want to do the main quest, then yes, you're going to need to visit these islands. I think this is genius because traversing through these islands can get a little slow and it might annoy some people, but if you ask me, I think it's awesome. It's one of the things that makes Terminus Terminus. And I really do think playing this back to back with the other games just shines a whole new light on this game. Like, just look at this view right here. Isn't it just breathtaking? Like, we haven't seen this in Zombies ever. But perhaps one of the most important Easter eggs here on Terminus has to be Whack-a-Crab. That's right, there is a mini game where you can play whack-a-mole with crabs, and this is the kind of silly stuff that I just eat up. It's just like the donut Easter egg on Shadows of Evil. It might not have the spectacle of like the Pegasus strike from Ancient Evil, but it's cheeky, it's fun, and most importantly, it gives you a free perk, Elemental Pop. Nice. And there are multiple stations of this that get you different rewards. For example, we just got a ton of salvage, and this one is going to give us a ton of points, a lot of points. That was like 2,500 points. And luckily there are still some interesting Easter eggs here. Oh my word. Oh, and just like that, we got the little thing for the Wonder Weapon. Nice. Now, aside from me personally really liking this mode, there is still a large part of the community that yearns for the classic formula of zombies way back in Black Ops 3 and even sort of Black Ops 4. And so with the modern zombie things like exfils and loadouts and armor and the point system and the perk system there are quite a bit of people who are still not super happy, which is a completely valid perspective to have. The game that once was, as we saw back in Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, is clearly much different now than it was back then. And even though I really like modern zombies, and especially Black Ops 6, that doesn't mean we didn't lose anything with the classic formula. Something was lost. And there is that feeling of nostalgia, which is not always a bad thing. I always try to take things for what they are. And especially with Black Ops 6, after being, oh man, just a kill streak. Well, actually, I'll pick that up. Why not? Heard you get an intel by doing this. Is that true? Oh, look at that. A piece of intel. Look at that. But looking at the trajectory of zombies, looking at what came before and what we have now, specifically when it comes to what we got in Cold War and what we have now in Black Ops 6, I am happy with the direction. I think they did a wonderful job. Am I getting hit here? Let's go ahead and eat their shroud here. Oh no, I've got the card here. Sweet. Treyarch listened to so much feedback from Cold War when it comes to Black Ops 6. Instead of 5 different levels of each and every single perk that you can unlock, you can only choose 2 of them at a time. With the player being too overpowered, they put Pack-a-Punch as well as armor in the point category, meaning that players need to choose between using points for Pack-a-Punch, increasing their firepower, and using points to increase their armor. Very strategic decision. Field upgrades take a lot longer to recharge. They're not as strong as they were, especially without the tier systems. And if you ask me, these Easter eggs are a bit more in-depth and they are more difficult than they were in Cold War, especially the boss fights, which are like the best part. 453. Everybody remember 453? All right, did we remember the passcode? 453, indeed. Let's go ahead and open up and release Mr. Nathan. Now, I normally don't have elemental pop at this stage of the Easter egg, so I think this is going to be really interesting to see how effective Deadwire is with elemental pop, because I have the vulnerability augment. Hopefully it means we'll actually be able to deal a little bit more damage and kill him a little bit faster, which it very much looks like that is happening. He's already like half health. Get those headshots in there. Beautiful. And he's almost done. Maybe one more reload. Yep, there we go. Done. We get a mid-game cutscene, which we hadn't gotten in ages, and it was in engine as well with our set crew of characters. That was like the biggest thing for me. I remember Cold War feeling so cold and just dry because there were operators, you didn't have a set crew. In addition to the lackluster maps as well, then bam, we get Terminus with this amazing Pack-a-Punch camo, with this beautiful island design and a set crew of characters that has interesting dialogue. Yeah, this has been a great experience so far. Now, there are definitely things that can be better. The characters, for example, don't have as much dialogue as I think they probably should. The maps definitely could have more uniqueness to them, and high rounds, in my opinion, in Black Ops 6 are just kind of weird. I think we're in the middle of a renaissance with the high round strategies that we want to implement, but that's probably a little complicated for a fun little 115 video. Plus, we need to revisit a little bit of a controversy that happened in the past couple weeks. This step of the Easter egg has always been able to be bypassed or skipped with a speedrun strat using shock charges. So if we go underneath this boat right here, kill these parasites, and we go up through this door, once we pick up these node connectors, this door closes. Now what you used to be able to do, you used to be able to throw a shock charge right here and the door would open. That was unfortunately a bug and Treyarch fixed it. Now the community didn't like this change. They liked the fact that it was interesting for speedrunners, and I agree, I like those little details like that for speedrunning. And so we gave them our feedback, and what do you know, in the future, in fact, but maybe by the time you're watching, well, maybe not by the time you're watching this, but in season 2, they are going to make it so that shock charges actually open up that panel, so it's an official skip, which I think is pretty cool. And the reason I bring that up, you're thinking, Donuts, why are you bringing up drama and all this stuff? Well, this whole kind of, I guess, retrospective, you could call it, going through all of these games and all of these memories that I have of zombies, everything that happened in Black Ops 4, everything that happened in even Modern Warfare 3 all feels, well, kind of less important. It makes sense why players react so strongly to the latest patch or the latest map, because it certainly feels like, hey, here's our newest thing, this is the direction we're going in, and if you don't like that direction, then you get really nervous about it. Let's fix this guy right up. Long story short, the bad can seem really intense in the moment. It could seem like the world is coming down, and like, believe me, that's what we all thought during Vanguard. And so I would just encourage you to kind of take a step back and kind of look at the bigger picture, because when wanting to make the game the best game that it can be, and if you're super passionate about it and you want it to be the best that it can be, sometimes you can get too close. It is just a game after all, and there are a lot more important things in life to worry about than a patch of a video game, or a map, or a mode, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, none of that philosophy anymore. This is supposed to be a fun video. Let's go ahead and hack some computers now. Uh-oh, but first I think I heard a really big bad guy. Where's he at? He's up there. Oh no. Amalgam. Oh man, he is just a softie right now, isn't he? Look at that. He's taking so much damage. Look at you. Look at you almost. You're dead now. Haha, that wasn't even a problem at all. And we're actually making great time on this Easter egg. And speaking of more difficult Easter egg steps, this is a step that I don't think Cold War would have even touched. First of all, a timed sequence where you have to navigate this open water with zombies and parasites shooting at you, but then coming back in here and having to defuse a bomb, otherwise you die, ripped straight out of Gorod Crovey. It's just one of those things I adore about this game's difficulty. Oh, and then we've got director's mode or directed mode. Oh my, if you're really nervous about Easter eggs but you want to get into Easter eggs, directed mode is there for you. Or if you want a camel grind, directed mode is there for you. The sandbox of round-based zombies has never felt this good, if you ask me. For example, take a look at this smoke grenade right here. Hides you from zombies just like Vulture Aid, and it's actually one of the easiest ways to defuse this bomb. We weren't even touched, the bomb is completely defused, we are boss fight ready. And I'm actually going to try my best to get this secret double points here, hopefully without going down. Very good. And look at all of those zombies lined up right for us. Oh, wonderful, we've got a bonus points, how lucky. We'll see how many points we get out of this double points, because I want at least tier 3 armor, and I would really love triple pack-a-punch, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I think I'm gonna go with a tier 3 vest first. I'm going to buy myself a chopper gunner. I am going to switch my ammo mod to napalm burst because I truly think that's what's best for the boss fight. And I'm going to buy myself another, or yeah, just one more shock charge. Okay. And what perks am I missing? Melee Macchiato, Vulture Aid, Quick Revive, and Stamina. I'm gonna go ahead and pack a punch this guy at least once, so that way I have 2 weapons. And then I'm gonna get some Quick Revive. And I think that's it. I think I would like stamina, but for 5500 I don't think I need stamina. This might be the dumbest decision I've ever made, but we're gonna do the Terminus boss fight without fully pack-a-punching our weapon, without fully upgrading our weapon, and without full perks. We'll see if that's a good decision or not, because the boss fights of Black Ops 6 tend to be, well, the hardest part about Black Ops 6 zombies. But hey, we're on round 20, so hopefully that means that he's a little bit softer. So far so good. The Siren is actually doing really good. Let's go. Look at that. 900 damage. That's not a lot of damage. Oh, you're gonna swipe. Okay, that's fine. But we're doing a lot of damage with that napalm burst. Very good. And so long as we keep cool heads, we should have enough ammo. And we're almost done. Very close to being done with part 1. Can we get it with our beam smasher though? I don't think we can. I'm gonna need to go ahead and buy some ammo right away. That's all right though, because we have a tier 2 pack-a-punch gun, which doesn't cost as much. And this should be basically stage 1 done right here almost. Wow, almost there. Come on, buddy. Come on. There you go. Stage 1. Any second now. There you go. Okay. Next, I like to use the beam smasher for this little intermediate piece. We've got some ammo on the ground there. Build up a nice horde, turn around, kill them all. Oh, there's a horde in front of me too. Luckily, they make it so that regular zombies drop ammo in boss fights, which I love that sort of balance, I guess. Now he's gonna follow us around here. I do like to train around here quite a bit. Just keep him moving, that way he doesn't have time to attack you. Hello, Mangler. You're dead, Mangler. I apologize. Let's pick up that max ammo. Maybe we could train around here a little bit. Maybe he could do a little ground slam for us and kill all these zombies that are bothering us. Thank you so much. But if you've done the Terminus boss fight before, you know these first 2 rounds are pretty rudimentary. They're nothing too crazy. You just gotta be a little patient. This guy will generally take out these zombies in the middle for you. You've just gotta be patient, deal enough damage, dodge the little tentacle things out there, and enjoy the boss fight music, because man, this boss fight music is really good. Very 90s. We've got that right tentacle broken, just the left one now. Little bit more ammo, and any second, yeah, there we go. Now, unfortunately, we didn't deal enough damage for this phase to end, so we gotta deal a little bit more, but eventually he should fall rather soon. But I'm not gonna lie, this gun's not dealing as much damage as I really want it to. Oh, we're not even done with this phase yet. Oh my, okay, are we just back now? Look at that, we're just back. Okay, no, he's done. Okay, we're on to the next phase, I guess. Really? Do we think so? Yeah, there's an amalgam here. Oh, amalgam just knocked me down. Luckily, the beam smasher being upgraded. Oh no, we just used our dying wish. Are you kidding me? What was that? That was like 7 things at once. We're so gonna die. Oh no, we're so gonna die. Oh, this is embarrassing. I was just about to say, this beam smasher's doing work on that amalgam there, but apparently I was wrong. And unfortunately, I don't think we can hit him from back here, so what we're gonna need to do is just dive off into the water. He's gonna do his little shooting thing, right? Yeah, and then we'll come out of the water and hopefully get this max ammo. Let's stun this amalgam first, and we can get going on his eyes. And you know what? Let's ether shroud while we have a weak spot ready for him. Let's avoid his tongue. I am going to pop a gobblegum here, shields up. Like I said, this is the difficult part here. This is a really difficult part. We're gonna stand behind here while he does his attack, because I feel like I've already wasted enough time. Yep, okay, that was not even gonna be close. Let's get one of his eyes popped. We've got another shoulder here. This is good news. I see a monkey bomb. That makes me happy. Just gotta be patient. Just gotta be careful with the amalgam in here. Where is he at? I think he's being stun locked over there. That's fine with me. Oh, there he is. Oh no, he's gonna get me too. Oh, he's got his tongue out. That's fine. Let's go ahead and ether shroud. Get away from here. Oh, he's got this attack. Can we block this attack? I don't think we can block this attack. I think that's a bad idea. I think it's a really bad idea. Oh, we got him. We got him. Nice. Oh, we are so close, man. We are so close. I'm gonna pick up this monkey bomb and throw it in the middle of the tongue. I don't think that's gonna do anything to the amalgam. Unfortunate. We are so close though. I gotta pick up that shock charge though. We're gonna shock charge the amalgam. Hopefully that stuns the zombies long enough. I can kill the amalgam and kill all these zombies enough for him to do his blast attack. This is so stressful. This is crazy stressful. Oh, you know what we can do? We can do this. We can do this. Ha 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 ha. I don't know if this does anything anymore, if they patched it to make it a lot harder, but maybe it does something. Oh, it does something. Oh, it does something. Let's go. That's so the way to cheese it still. That was so anticlimactic, but I'm so glad we did that. Let's go. And that's where we're at with Black Ops 6 Zombies, and with Call of Duty Zombies in general. It's been a roller coaster of a journey, especially the last 4 years. But over the long course of Zombies, I still believe that the good outweighs the bad. And on 115 Day, what better way to celebrate than going through everything and seeing what I love about, well, everything about zombies. So if you made it this far, thank you for coming along the journey with us, and I can't wait to see what Zombies has in store for us next. And if you're interested in even more Black Ops 6 content, be sure to check out this video and stay beautiful.